who's feeling that Virgo full moon coming in? We have the full moon on Saturday, the 24th of February. So if you're seeing this on or before the 24th of February, tune in because your girl is feeling it. I'm actually trying to recover from being sick. I've had a full-blown head cold since Sunday. It actually started last Saturday. I could feel it coming on, and it's just persistently gotten worse. It has kind of like jacked up my whole week, and I'm just taking it as Spirit is saying rest. Like, for me personally, I'm closing out a humongous cycle. I'm actually going to clear my own energy. Typically when I'm feeling sick or in my own stuff, I would not do a reading, which I haven't. I have been like MIA off of social media for like days. But I got the go ahead, I got the green light from Spirit that this message needed to come out because I got the 999 confirmation today that it's not just me going through a cycle or ending a cycle, it is a collective cycle is ending. So if you're seeing this, then you might be feeling these exact same ways. So I'm gonna cleanse my energy real quick just to be sure I'm not projecting any of my own stuff into this reading. It's funny, I wanted to put on, there's frequency going on in the background, and the first frequency when I logged into YouTube, my first frequency was this. It's 852 hertz frequency, and it's letting go of fear, removing blockages, and destructive energy, any kind of destructive energy. Smoke is one of the best ways to cleanse out the energy of your own aura of your house, all the things. Okay, big cycles coming up. You may be feeling agitated, worn down, sick. All of these things, all these feelings are coming up to the surface. They're there for a purpose. Sit with them. I'm being literally forced to sit with some really icky stuff. Bad memories, all these things are coming up for me, and I am like, can't do anything. I am sick, and I am forced to sit with this, and it's not easy, you guys. So I'm gonna ask Spirit to chime in and guide us. Spirit, angels, and guides of the highest good and highest protection, what message needs to come through as we embark on this Virgo full moon? What sort of message do we need to hear to release for the highest good and the highest good of all? Thank you. Awakening crystal, emotional healing right off the bat. There's a new wave. There's a new wave of awakening going on right now. So if you are freshly awakened and life seems odd, if the world seems like an illusion, do not fear. I know the feeling. You can feel lonely. You can feel lost. Everything that you once knew was truth is no longer your truth. Breathe. Courage. So we have awakening and courage. It's gonna take courage. Oh, I can't even sit still. This energy is crazy. You guys are anxious. You have so much anxiety going on right now. Like, I'm feeling like you think that time's running out, like you're not gonna have time to do all the things. Trust me. It takes courage to stand in your power and sit back and choose yourself. And remember that what is meant for you will never pass you by. There is always time. Always time. Always time. I keep wanting to say that. Always time. I feel called to remind you that full moons are all about releasing things that no longer serve you. If things are making you feel fearful, guilty, shameful, no way, Jose, let it go. Either choose to let it go completely and remove things and people from your life, or put up very healthy boundaries to protect your self-worth. The Great Gathering, it's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. Yes. I feel like if you feel like you're losing people in your life, or have lost people in your life, and you're kind of been in a grieving state, or you feel like a cycle is coming back to let you see what could have happened, what your role was in it, what their role was in it. I think Spirit's encouraging us to really look at the things that are coming up, because we can't move forward until we have let go of the past, because the past doesn't exist anymore, right? The future doesn't exist, and the past doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is right here and right now. Be here now. Trust your gut instincts, those intuitive hits. What is your gut telling you? What is it guiding you to do, say, feel, all those things? Even if things are looking destructive or out of your control, just know that it's all happening for a purpose. It's all coming together. It's sometimes hard to see the big picture because we're so fixated on a certain part of something. And that sometimes we need to zoom out to see a bigger, bird's eye view, see the bigger picture from a different perspective. All of a sudden it was upside down. Break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. I could cry because I feel this so much, and personally just had a phone chat with my sweet, sweet cousin. She's like the biggest sis I've ever had, And we were literally talking about how we're like changing generational patterns and like rewriting our future and the future for our kids and all these things. And so that's just confirmation from Spirit. So Miss Kaya, if you see that confirmation, we're on the right track, babe. Holy moly. All right. Wow. Let's see what Mary Magdalene has to say. Oh, call upon Mary Magdalene to give us some insight as we embark on this full moon. Thank you, Mother Mary. Thank you, Mary Magdalene. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The third power. Humility is my greatest strength. Humility is my greatest strength. It's the third power. I'm gonna actually read this verbatim out of this book, 1 second. Okay, so according to the book of Mary, Mary Magdalene has a gospel herself, and not a lot of people know about it, but if you know, you know. She talks about the 7 powers of the ego, which can correlate to the 7 deadly sins, and that's where Jesus actually, or Yeshua actually teaches that there is no sin of the world. The only sin is when we're living out of the ego. So when we do things out of the ego. So, you know, you get what I'm saying. So the third power is ignorance. Ignorance is our ultimate blind spot. It's the insular thought that we exist somehow as the lead role in a movie the ego is directing. Ignorance is a profound lack of vision. It's an inability to actually see ourselves and the impact of our actions. There's a powerful exchange between desire and the soul in Mary's gospel. Desire in this dialogue is what the ego craves. It isn't the desire of the soul, it's the unconscious needs of the ego. So this egoic desire says to the soul in Mary 9:2, I did not see you go down, yet now I see you go up. So why do you lie since you belong to me? And the soul responds, I saw you. You did not see me, nor did you know me. You mistook the garment I wore for my true self, and you did not recognize me. The ego thinks it is the true self, but the ego is actually only the garments, or the layers of identity that the ego acquires. What's true is the soul beneath all of those egoic desires. What's true is what remains constant even as our egoic desires shift from one need to the next. The way to dismantle ignorance is to see through the constantly shifting desires of the ego. It's to see that the egoic desires are like clouds in the sky, and the soul is the sky itself. We can try to see ignorance for what it is. It's not lasting. It's not permanent. It has the potential to be fleeting if we have the humility to ask, what is beneath this egoic desire? Humility is our greatest strength. If we can let the garments of the ego fall, we can see ourselves more fully and recognize what's lasting. And if we have the strength to be humble enough to understand that our ignorance is only human, then we get to experience the way that our forgiveness is also divine. If you're interested in a meditation, think on, what am I ready to see that's deeper than this egoic desire? What am I ready to see that's deeper than this egoic desire? It's a really beautiful message, because often we get so stuck in our ego, what we want things to look on the outside, what we want things to look based on what we want people to view it as, and we lose sight of what our soul is actually yearning for, you know? And so if we can kind of step out of our ego and back into our heart space, this sacred heart space, this all-knowing heart space, then so much can change, because we are actually acting out of the heart instead of out of the mind. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up with one last crystal card. Spirit, give me one last message to close this out. One last card, please, Spirit. Thank you. Spiritual awakening. I feel it. I feel it for myself, and I want you guys to know that spiritual awakenings doesn't happen one time. You will go through so many moments where life shifts, a new perspective, a new awareness. That's what a spiritual awakening is. It is a level of awareness that you reach. for some reason, I'm having this vision of a chessboard, like checkmate, popped into my head. That's what it kind of feels like. The spiritual awakening. This is like a new flood of people awakening because we're at a checkpoint. I feel called to tell you, Earth itself is shifting. Earth itself, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, it's an entity, it's a being of her own, and she has her own frequency, and she is cleaning house. So if you are so fixated on what's going on in the media and all these disasters and all these things, take a step back and realize that for far too long, humans have destroyed this planet. We are not kind. The majority of us are not kind to this planet. To be frank, a lot of people don't give a shit about this planet. You can see it on the sides of the road, just disrespect to this planet. And so you have to understand that although as a human, we can look at it as disastrous and sad, you know, if there's humans that are dying, like that's never good. But you need to understand that everything is divinely happening. And biblically, it happened before with the Great Flood and Noah. And there was plenty of people trying to get people on board. But there's those that are skeptical and they don't want to believe. That's okay, it's not your time. No judgment here. But there will become a time where you have to choose whether you're going to get on that boat or not. But Mother Earth is changing and shifting, and if you want to go with her, then you have to make the changes. You have to dive into what your body, your spirit is teaching you and leading you to, because I guarantee you your spirit is pulling you somewhere. And if you're giving resistance, stop the resistance. If things are like, if you're questioning things in your mind and you're like, maybe I should look into that, or maybe I should do that, follow it. Follow your intuition in these time periods. That is the only guidance. It is divine. It is from the source, one creator, God, universe, higher intelligence, whatever you want to call it. That is your intuitive divine guidance. It's within us, and it's within you, each and every person watching this. It's within you. Trust it. You have a loud, egoic voice that wants to keep you safe. It's there for a purpose. We love the ego. Don't get me wrong, we love the ego. But we have a soft voice over here that says, slow down. It's going to be okay. Time is not going to run out for you. And often we surround ourselves with TV and tablets and screens and things that to keep us busy because we don't know we don't know how to be still and listen to that quiet voice. So a lot of the times the quiet voice will hear it, and then the ego wants to keep us safe because growth can't happen in our comfort zone. And so anytime we try to grow, our ego is like, no, you want to stay safe. You want to stay comfortable. So that egoic voice is so much louder that we often follow the ego voice instead of our higher self voice. So to wrap up this reading, and if you stayed this long, thank you so much for listening. This message was definitely for you. If you're still here, trust me, trust the divine spirit. It works through all of us. And this is a huge time of transformation and change and spiritual awakening. I mean, we have the awakening crystal with emotional healing backed with selenite for spiritual awakening. Like, that's just 2 confirmations right there. So remember, have courage to stand in your power. Have courage to stand up for yourself, for your soul, for that spirit, beautiful spirit deep within your heart. And to remember that yourself is what matters. The opinions of others don't. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm sending all my love to anybody who's going through it like I am. We are stronger together, and we're gonna get through it. Promise.